closet door. I'm here in my studio, aka Board Game Closet. I love this song. I'm worried we use it too much, but it's still a good song. Anyways, before diving into today's nugget of civics, I wanted to thank those of you who have donated to keep this bird in the air. We simply can't make the show without that tried and true public radio standby, listener donations. If you listen to the show and can support it, just go to civics101podcast.org and click donate, or just click the link in our show notes to give a gift in any amount. $5 a month as a sustaining member, it gets you a swanky new Civics 101 face mask. But whatever amount you can give, please know we are going to keep asking people smarter than us to answer your questions about how our country works. Thank you. Thank you. All right, here's the show.
Civics 101 is supported in part by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
And I'm curious if anybody has already started to pitch themselves as a replacement to you.
Well, you may be the only one that hasn't, unless you just did.
You're listening to Civics 101. I'm Nick Capodice.
I'm Hannah McCarthy.
And today we're answering this question. Our listener Judy wrote, how is a U.S. senator's seat filled after they're elected president or vice president?
I don't know if this listener question was inspired by Kamala Harris, but Kamala Harris is a perfect example, right?
This is Matt Tokeshi. He's professor of political science at Williams College.
Okay, so for Senate vacancies, each state has different rules. So the 17th Amendment of the Constitution empowers state legislatures to grant the governor the power to name a temporary replacement. So in 45 of the U.S. states, the legislature has granted the governor that appointment power. And in 5 states, the legislature does not grant the governor temporary appointment power.
And I have to add that it's not terribly common. So far in U.S. history, 15 senators, including Kamala Harris, have resigned to become vice president, but only 3 U.S. senators, Barack Obama, Warren G. Harding, and John F. Kennedy, were elected president while they were holding that Senate seat.
Matt said that 45 states have the governor pick a replacement. But what about the other 5 states?
So North Dakota, Oklahoma, Oregon, Rhode Island, and Wisconsin don't allow gubernatorial selected Senate replacements. In those states, senators have to be elected by the people in a special election.
So Harris is a U.S. senator from California, and California is one of the 45 states that empowers its governor to appoint, in this case, Senator Harris's replacement.
When Matt says these are a temporary replacement, how long does that last?
It lasts until a special election is held. As to when that happens, it varies greatly from state to state. Most states hold it at the next statewide election. 13 states require a special election to be held in a certain time frame after that governor's appointment.
Okay, that's the Senate.
Okay, so let me talk about the House. Article 1 of the Constitution says that House vacancies are filled by special elections. Okay, so unlike the Senate, there are no temporary appointment powers granted to anyone. There is a special election that's held, soon after the vacancies.
I'm curious about other positions besides the president and the vice president. Is the process the same if a senator or representative resigns to become a cabinet member?
The rules for replacing senators and representatives joining the cabinet are the same for whether they leave to become the president or vice president, or if they die or become sick or retire, right? This is to fill vacancies for any reason. The rules are all the same. So, for example, President-elect Biden has named one U.S., in this case, representative to be a part of his cabinet so far, and that's Ohio Representative Marcia Fudge. Is going to be nominated to be the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. Ohio Democrats are already lining up to fill that Marcia Fudge seat.
So when a president picks members of their cabinet, I imagine they have to consider not only the right person for the job, but also that they'll be removing that person from their current position of power.
That is definitely a consideration, and that's exactly what we're seeing with President-elect Biden. There's lots of factors that go into it. So President-elect Biden so far has mostly selected more, technocratic type people rather than ambitious politicians who are seeking further office. So he's opted more for people that he's personally familiar with and who are, less politically ambitious, which means he hasn't named anyone from the Senate. But if you name a senator, you don't know for sure who the replacement is going to be, and where you have a very close fight for party control in the Senate, every single one of those seats is precious. You want to be very, very careful And in fact, the most careful way to approach this is just to not name somebody currently in the Senate.
That's how we fill vacated seats in Congress here today on Civics 101. Don't forget to submit your questions at our website, civics101podcast.org.
From PRX.